is another update on my Phoenix kind of light operating system for the A2560 series of Phoenix retro computers. If you've never heard of a Phoenix, it is a brand new retro computer made by Stephanie Allaire from Phoenix Retro Systems. These are not compatible with anything, it's not compatible with an Atari or an ST or an Amiga or a Mac or a DOS box or anything like that. It's a totally new computer. Um, and they're right now largely kind of in the hands of developers trying to, making software for it. But they're a fantastic way to get back to what it was like to buy a computer, I would say, in kind of like the mid to late 90s. I'm sorry, mid to late 80s, where a lot of times if you get a new computer, there was actually no software for it unless or a very limited set of software, and you'd be writing what you wanted to do. But it was also very interactive and kind of a lot of instant feedback, and you could explore it, and it was within the realm of possibility for one person to learn how to program it and develop a pretty amazing application or game for it. For whatever reason, I've decided it would be a good idea to try to write a light operating system for it. So that's what I'm doing or trying to do, and that's what this is about. So before, I think I showed you the startup sequence, just a little fun there, and one screen worth. So today we're going to go through and show some other stuff, just kind of what's been going on in the background before we get there. As I did spend several days in the last couple weeks, not really building anything new, but trying to get the code into shape to build with the Calypsy C compiler for the 68,000. Um, the got close. It is building in there, but it's not running on anything. But Hakon's been great. We've been kind of going back and forth a little bit, and hopefully keep doing that. And one of these days, I'm sure we'll get it working. I also wasted some time trying to get it just to compile again on Calypsy for the C256 FMX, which is kind of the previous generation of Phoenix computers. It uses a 65816 CPU, which is basically a kind of pseudo. I'm probably not describing this right, but it's a kind of 8/16-bit CPU that descended from the famous 6502 that powered the Atari, 800 and the Apple II and all the Commodore series. So it compiles for that. It's not going to run though because of basically what how I have this designed with Windows and Windows that are 640 by 480. That's 300K. I mean, 300K is more than um, the 65816 ever wants to address. So that's going to need a new design. If you have any ideas, we're having kind of a fun conversation about that on Discord right now. So hop on and join. Try to do something new, but also learn from the past and see if we can do something that's um, you know good and fun to use. Um, but I kind of putting that aside for the last few days and did get a chance to go build some more code for it. So what I've got going now is the event manager, with the caveat that the emulator I'm using right now, the F68 emulator, doesn't have any support for a mice. So I can't make a mouse appear on the screen, which means that I can't do interrupts really very efficiently. So what I have is the event manager, and then I'm injecting interrupt events into it as if I was, had an actual interrupt handler. You won't see the mouse move, but because it can't display it. But it's simulating it pretty well. It's basically like saying click the mouse here, click the mouse there. And then the event manager is dealing with that and creating event records and distributing them out to the windows. And the event manager is kind of a mashup of how legacy Windows and Mac and Amiga event managers worked in a way, taking a little bit from each of them. If you're programming, you're creating an application with this framework. Basically, you're going to every time you create a window, when you create that window, you're going to pass a function pointer to the function that's going to be your event handler. You can use the same event handler for multiple windows if that makes sense to you, or just every window has its own. Um, and then you basically give control back to the system. The system, spins around waiting for something to happen. When it does, it determines what window should get that event, and then it fires off. You know, Sends an event record off to that window, and then your handler would pick it up and do whatever it is you want to do with it. So let's do a little demo on this and see how it goes. So for this demo, we're actually going to show another part of the Phoenix, which is kind of unique, is that it has a text mode, and it just uses fixed width 8 by 8 fonts, font if you will, um, but it's totally separate from the graphics layer. But you can either have all bitmap graphics or all text, or this text mode overlaid on top of the graphics, and that's what I'm going to use today for this because it just makes it easy to really you can pretty easy to distinguish between you know what you'd be seeing in a real system in this, and think of this as maybe for maybe like for an Amiga Guru error or something, something really goes wrong, maybe we'll use this. um, oh, and just a point, yeah, this is slowed down. There's a little 10 ticks or whatever that is, about a fifth of a second or something delay for each event. And I've also got a lot of debug stuff going, and of course it's an emulator, so I have no idea how fast or slow it is compared to the real machine. I'm assuming this is going to be a lot faster on a real machine though. Okay, so what we got here is two windows. They're basically the same. Window one and window two. There's also a tiny window down there in the lower left, which is currently a selected window. It's got different color header. Um, and what you see, that's actually the minimal, that window's at minimum size, and the font is getting cut off. The title is getting cut off right at the end there because that's all that it measures it and it knows is all it's going to fit there. So what we're going to do next, we're going to click on window one to make it the current one. That's going to bring it to the fore. Yep, and now it takes it, and you can see it's hiding the tiny window behind it. Next, we're going to click on if you look at each um, title bar, there's four controls up here: close, minimize, normal size or kind of window size, and maximize. We're going to click on the maximize one there. Um, there's maximum, it takes over the whole screen. And next, we're just going to hit that regular one to bring us down to same size we were before. And now we're tired of this one. We're going to click the close. And yes, these are some pretty subtle things here, differences, but one thing that is nice about the system is it's theme based, so anyone can design a theme. You can control the graphics, the colors, shapes of things. You can move the title bar down to the bottom. I don't know if that makes sense. You can move the controls wherever you want. That's fine. So you're not stuck with whatever I'm doing here. Okay, so next one, we've got this tiny one down here. We're gonna, minimize it, which basically is like hiding the window, so it's not visible anywhere in the screen, and you'd bring it back up with a keyboard shortcut or with a right-click menu. All right, we're back to one thing. Currently, this window two is not selected. Actually, the desktop in the background is what's the last thing clicked on, kind of from the remaining windows. But we're going to click on window two, and then we're going to click on button one there. That highlights, and you have a chance to do something as a programmer in between there. Next, we're going to drag this just to show we can drag things. Just again, it's what you'd expect. Click on the title bar, hold down the mouse, move it around. I'm going to show you some recs in red. They're not going to undraw, but of course, in the real one, they would be kind of like a actively moving box. But my shortcut there, my kind of reason I can't show that is that the emulator doesn't have the composition yet to do the two bitmap layers. So I just have the background bitmap going. And I think in the real one, I think I'm going to try to just draw those boxes on the foreground layer, and then I won't have to worry about it. It'll be super fast to erase them. Yeah, so you can see that's kind of, simulating a couple mouse moves, and then you pull it back, and then move the window. So next we're going to drag to resize, and just like a kind of more modern OS, you can drag from, up, down, left, right to go one directional drag, and you can also drag down in this area here for, if you want to drag down to the left, right. And we're going to use a green one for this one, but you get the idea. And there you are. And that's it for today. So thanks for watching. Again, if you're interested in the Phoenix or something, just join the Discord. It's a great group of folks. Neat people with ideas and coders and graphics people. And to be fair, I don't want to scare anyone. Most people are working on games, so you can be crazy like me and not do games. All right. Thanks, everyone.